My dad accidentally rear-ended a Xiaomi S680 while driving, facing the cold-faced rich guy who stepped out of the car. My dad nervously held his head and asked, "Can I pay in installments?" Over 3 generations. Then he threw out my photo. This is the 2nd generation. After school, I was invited by Grandma Luo to have dinner together. But we agreed to eat together. And yet Grandma Luo and Luo were nowhere to be seen. At the dining table, Luo Qingli was on the phone. She casually responded with a "got it," then hung up and picked up her chopsticks. Grandma said she and Luo couldn't make it back in time, and told us to eat first. I nodded and picked up my chopsticks too. As we were eating, suddenly, I recalled the question I searched online earlier. How to tell if someone likes you. Step 1. Stare at them continuously until they notice you. Then observe their first reaction upon seeing you. If they shyly look away, it probably means they like you. Thinking of that, I stared intently at Luo Qingli across the table. She sat there gracefully, eating as if no one else was around. What's going on? Is my presence that unnoticeable? I cleared my throat. Luo Qingli gracefully sipped some soup, not even lifting her eyelids. Expressionless. Did Lin Haoyu finally notice me? I excitedly asked. What's wrong? He put down his bowl coldly and said, "Stop staring at me. Don't look at me again." I pretended not to understand and asked why. Are you shy or something? Luo Qingli's cold voice replied again, "You're too ugly. You ruined my appetite." Halfway through the meal, Luo Qingli pushed back her chair. "You eat first. I'm stepping out." I gazed sadly at Luo Qingli's back. As soon as Luo Qingli entered the bathroom, his previously straight back suddenly slumped. He leaned completely against the wall, clutching his chest, face flushed, struggling. Damn it. His heart was racing, while Luo Qingli was away. I took out my phone again and looked at it. Pick the right moment to complain to the other person about your recent troubles. Then observe again if they show any sympathy or concern. At that moment, Luo Qingli returned to the dining table as if nothing happened. I took a moment to get into character, put down my chopsticks and sighed. Luo Qingli, these past few days, I've been feeling really down. I don't know why, but I have no appetite at all. Luo Qingli looked up at me from across the table. Wasn't it you this afternoon who had 2 bowls of rice at the cafeteria? The corner of my mouth twitched. I tried hard to maintain a sorrowful vibe. I continued, I'm serious. We just had an exam, and I have no idea how I did. What if I did terribly? Luo Qingli calmly reassured me. Your grades are already at the bottom. How much worse could it even get? What a heartless guy. I slammed my chopsticks down on the bowl. I'm done. I'm full. Full from being pissed off by Luo Qingli. Luo Qingli glanced at my bowl, which wasn't even close to empty. Don't you love this braised shrimp dish? I replied speechlessly. I'm not in the mood to peel. Luo Qingli lowered his head. The corners of his mouth subtly lifted. I noticed the smirk forming. That made me even more upset. If what those online tests said were true, then Luo Qingli definitely doesn't like me. Luo Qingli didn't respond. He just picked up a large shrimp with his slender fingers and started peeling it. He lowered his gaze, focused on the shrimp, then slightly looked up and brought it to my lips. Open up. I stared in shock at the peeled shrimp in front of me. Luo Qingli raised his eyebrows slightly at me. Didn't someone just say they weren't in the mood to peel? Well, this lady happens to be in a good mood. Are you eating or not? I instantly forgot all my earlier frustration. I immediately took a bite. Of course I'm eating. After that, I forgot all the unpleasantness from before and devoured everything on my plate. The next day, Luo Qingli, Suchin, and Song Ming set off together on a trip to Shishi. For the first time, I was traveling far with close friends. I was so excited last night I couldn't sleep. As soon as I stepped outside, I ran into Luo Qingli. There were so many cars parked at the alley entrance. I looked closely. Grandma Luo and Luo had both shown up. I was a bit surprised. Why were Grandma and Luo here? Luo ran over quickly and grabbed my arm in a hug. He looked up and asked, Brother, will you miss Luo? I smiled and pinched his chubby cheek. Of course I will. Grandma Luo tearfully held my hand. Grandma will have someone take care of things at your mom's side. You guys have fun, okay? When you arrive, don't forget to call Grandma and let me know you're safe. I nodded a bit helplessly. Thank you, Grandma. Luo Qingli stood with hands in his pockets, watching us with a speechless look. We're just going to the neighboring province for 2 days. Do we really need to act like it's a final farewell? Since the journey wasn't short, Luo Qingli switched to an off-road vehicle. Su Qin was already sitting in the front passenger seat. Not far away, Song Ming came running over, with a backpack, out of breath. We arrived in City C around 1 p.m. I hadn't slept well the night before, so I was drowsy the whole way there. After we arrived, Su Qin gently woke me up. After lunch, we bought some tea drinks to bring to Shen Wanting's crew. Song Ming mysteriously pulled me aside and whispered, "I think Su Qin likes you." I froze. He stared blankly at Su Qin's back. No way, seriously. Su Qin might like me. Song Ming gave me a mysterious look. Just wait and see. You can't hide the way you look at someone you like. On set, the director clapped the board. He raised his voice. Good job today. That's a wrap for today. Everyone take a good rest. Shen Wanting happily ran over. Beaming, she said, "You guys must have waited long. Hug time." She gave Su Qin a dramatic bear hug. "I missed you all so much." Su Qin, with her good temperament, let her hug as she liked. But when it came to Luo Qingli immediately backed away with a disgusted face. "Stay away from me. No one wants to hug you." Shen Wanting wasn't discouraged at all. Happily, she opened her arms and came toward me. I blinked in confusion. Before I could react, Luo Qingli pulled me aside, successfully dodging Shen Wanting's claws. Luo Qingli stood protectively in front of me, glared at Shen Wanting and said, "You got a death wish?" Shen Wanting pouted. "What's wrong with just a hug?" Luo Qingli gave a fake smile and said, "Men and women shouldn't touch." I cleared my throat awkwardly, quickly stepped up and greeted Shen Wanting. "Long time no see. These are my friends. We brought you gifts." Compared to my calm reaction, Song Ming was meeting a celebrity for the first time. Excited, he said, "Shen Wanting, I really like you. Can I shake your hand?" Shen Wanting gave Song Ming a big smile. "Of course you can." Song Ming looked like he might faint from excitement. Shen Wanting stepped forward and took Song Ming's hand. She gave it a light squeeze. "Thank you for liking me." Song Ming's energy was completely drained. He was trembling with excitement. "I also want a photo with you." I pulled out my phone and said, "I'll take it for you." Then I started snapping like crazy. All kinds of angles, all kinds of expressions. Then I sent all the photos to Song Ming's WeChat. After Song Ming received them, Su Qin passed out the tea drinks to the crew. Then she came over. She gently said, "All right, let's not just stand here. Let's find a place to sit and chat." Shen Wanting's hotel suite had everything you could imagine. The fridge was packed with all kinds of snacks. We sat around the table, eating and chatting. It was so lively. After finishing the last bite, Shen Wanting suggested, "Let's play a game." Su Qin asked, "What game?" Shen Wanting picked up an empty wine bottle and placed it on the table. Truth or dare? Luo Qingli lazily propped up his chin, glancing at the bottle with boredom. "Such a dumb game," he scoffed. "But fine, I'm in." Shen Wanting said, "Let's start. Whoever the bottle points to has to answer a question from someone here. If they refuse, they have to take a drink." Shen Wanting spun the bottle. After a while, the spinning bottle gradually slowed down and ended up pointing at Luo Qingli. Song Ming raised his hand. "I'll ask," then laughed playfully. "Miss Luo, do you have someone you like?" I suddenly got nervous. I secretly glanced at Luo Qingli. My heart was pounding like crazy. After a moment, his cool voice finally sounded. Yes, just one simple word. But I felt like my heart was about to leap out of my throat. It felt like a kitten scratching at my heart. Shen Wanting gossiped as she looked at Su Qin. "Did I go deaf? Did we just hear him say that?" Luo Qingli said he likes someone. Su Qin's face remained soft and calm as always. She smiled but said nothing. The second round began. This time, the bottle pointed right at Su Qin. The energy in the room completely shifted. Still buzzing from the previous topic, Shen Wanting looked at Su Qin and said, "Su Qin, what about you? You have someone you like. Su Qing gave the same answer. Yes. The atmosphere instantly reached a climax. Shen Wanting instantly regretted it. She should have just asked directly who it was. She decided she'd ask that next time. The third round started. It was like the bottle had it out for Su Qing. Once again, it pointed right at him. Shen Wanting excitedly asked, "What's the name of the person you like?" Everyone's eyes instantly landed on him. Su Qing picked up the glass in front of him. "I'll drink." And then downed it in one gulp. Shen Wanting's flaming curiosity was thoroughly doused. In the next round, the bottle pointed at Song Ming. Shen Wanting narrowed her eyes at him. "When was your first kiss?" Song Ming's face instantly turned red. I looked at Shen Wanting, a bit speechless. These days, are all national idols this gossipy? Shen Wanting urged, "Come on, say it. If not, you have to drink." Song Ming can't handle even one drink. He might go crazy drunk. He hesitated and stammered, "Just recently." I looked at him, shocked. Song Ming had always been the model student. He never even dated before. Where did this first kiss come from? Did I miss something? The bottle kept spinning. This time, it pointed right at me. Shen Wanting slapped the table. "How many characters are in your crush's name?" Just as she finished speaking, Luo Qingli coldly said, "Shen Wanting, you talk too much." Shen Wanting jumped from her seat in fright. She only dared to retort after moving to a safe spot. "What do you mean too much? It's a normal question. That's how the game's supposed to be fun." I nervously clenched my fist. My mouth opened and closed. I didn't know how to say it out loud. The room fell silent. Both Luo Qingli and Su Qing's eyes were fixed on me. I suddenly felt a bit guilty. It was extremely awkward. In desperation, I reached for the glass of wine in front of me, but a pair of fair hands suddenly blocked me. I looked up, a bit confused. Su Qing gently said as always, "I'll drink for you." Saying that, Su Qing picked up the glass and drank it all. Shen Wanting crossed her arms and pouted, "Not fun." Not fun at all. Luo Qingli, who was sitting nearby, glanced at the empty wine glasses on the table, his expression unreadable. Shen Wanting displayed the tenacity of an unkillable cockroach. Determined to dig out something juicy, she spun the bottle again. And once again, it landed on me. I was completely speechless. Shen Wanting laughed like a silly goose. She picked up the bottle and held it like a mic in front of me. "The person you like, what's the first letter of their name?" I replied helplessly, "Is your hobby really just going around asking who other people like?" Shen Wanting rubbed her chin and smiled brightly. "Yep. I think I found joy in being a little gossip." I giggled. "Well, sorry. I'll just choose to drink." As I spoke, I reached for the glass, but this time, Luo Qingli snatched it away. He tilted his head back and downed the drink, then placed the glass firmly on the table. "All right, this game ends here." Shen Wanting protested, "But I'm not done playing." Luo Qingli's tone carried an irresistible authority. I said, "It ends here." In an instant, Shen Wanting deflated like a balloon. Everyone stood up, ready to leave and rest. Suddenly, the lights in the room went out. The room was instantly pitch black. You couldn't see a thing. I blurted out, "What's going on?" Shen Wanting was a bit scared. "I don't know either. Could it be a power outage? What about our phones?" Everyone started fumbling around for their phones. I also tried to remember where mine was. The next second, someone suddenly hugged me. A scorching breath approached me. With a faint scent of alcohol, the person lowered their voice, speaking in a tone only the two of us could hear. Word by word, they said, "I like you." I froze. Every movement stopped. Then the warm body left my arms. I couldn't even tell whose voice it was. The lights flickered again, suddenly illuminating the surroundings. Shen Wanting patted her chest and regained her spirit. She seriously said, "Don't be afraid, everyone. Looks like it was just a circuit short." Luo Qingli looked disgusted. "You're the only one who was scared." Su Qing smiled gently. "It's good that nothing happened." I stood there dumbfounded, looking at the two girls in front of me acting so normal. Who was it that whispered in my ear just now? Was it Su Qing? I looked at Su Qing. She noticed my gaze and looked at me. What's wrong? I quickly shook my head. No, nothing. Luo Qingli crossed his arms and said, it's getting late. Time to go back. I nodded. As soon as we got back to the room, Songming flopped onto the big bed. I'm exhausted. As for me, my mind was completely distracted by that sudden confession. Songming nudged me lightly. What's up with you? You've been acting weird since we got back. I told Songming about what happened during the blackout. He widened his eyes and thought for a long time. Then concluded, it must have been Suchin. I whispered, maybe it was Luo Qingli. The moment I mentioned Luo Qingli, I couldn't help but smile. Songming came up with an idea. Why don't you ask them in the group chat? I rolled my eyes at him. Are you kidding me? Forget it. I'll go take a shower first. After I finished showering, Songming looked at his phone for a bit, then fell asleep. Maybe it was because I napped too much in the afternoon, or maybe I was just troubled by that confession. I kept tossing and turning, unable to sleep. I gave up trying, grabbed my room card and walked out, wanting to get some fresh air. Every floor of the hotel had a terrace. I leaned against the terrace railing. A surprised voice suddenly came from behind me. I turned my head, also a little surprised. Suchin had a slightly stunned expression. He walked up and asked, can't sleep? I nodded. I think I slept too much this afternoon. Suchin chuckled softly, then suddenly held my hand. His voice low and calm. Please don't reject me, he said, like someone wounded. That hurt expression lasted only for a second. The next moment, Suchin returned to his usual gentle self, standing beside me. I saw you standing here alone, looking like something was on your mind. Want to talk about it? I shrugged. It's nothing, really. Just suddenly felt like time has gone by so fast. Without realizing it, we've known each other for so long. Suchin leaned back against the railing. Yeah, time is strange like that. It always slips through your fingers when you're not paying attention. I turned to look at him. Thanks for drinking for me tonight. Suchin looked at me steadily. Since you're thanking me, can I ask for something in return? I blinked. Suchin looked at me and said seriously, can you sing a song for me? Sing? I hadn't sung in front of anyone since I left the entertainment industry 5 years ago. Suchin was acting so normal. Why would he suddenly ask me this? I thought for a moment and asked, what do you want to hear? Suchin gazed deeply into my eyes. Sing Contentment. I didn't expect him to say that song. Contentment. That song meant a lot to me. It held a special meaning for me, back when the group was still together. The company wanted us to be confident on stage, so they often had us perform on the street. During the busiest times, that was my first time singing in public, in front of such a big crowd. And the first song I sang was Contentment, because I covered that song. A passerby recorded it and uploaded it online. It received widespread praise, and that's how I began a rise in popularity, gradually becoming known by more and more people. Maybe because I hadn't sung in so long, I felt a bit shy. Do you really want to hear it? If I sing badly, don't laugh at me. Suchin smiled and gently tucked a lock of hair behind his ear. Sing. I'm listening. I cleared my throat, leaning on the railing, looking into the distance, and softly began to sing. How do you own a rainbow? How do you embrace the summer breeze? The stars above laugh at the people below, always failing to understand, never feeling content. My voice sounded especially ethereal in the night. I looked into the distance. Suchin looked at me. As the song ended, it felt like the whole world had gone still. I grabbed the railing, leaned back, and looked towards Suchin. When I finished, Suchin was standing there, eyes lowered, sensing my gaze. He looked up and smiled slightly. That was beautiful. It reminded me of a story. Want to hear it? I leaned forward eagerly on the railing, looking at him. Sure. Suchin lowered his head, his eyes full of nostalgia. How should I put it? A long time ago, there was a girl. She had loving parents and friends who were always by her side. She had so many good things in her life, but unfortunately all of it came to an end after a car accident during her middle school years. Because of that accident, she lost her sight for a long period of time. With only sympathy from others, how cruel. Is someone like that really out there? I asked. Suchin nodded. Yes, There are many things in this world that are sigh-worthy. We just don't know about them. I asked, and then what happened? Then, during the darkest time of her life, she felt more and more like a burden. Gradually, she began to give up on herself, until one day, she heard a boy's singing voice. That boy's voice was like vibrant colors she could clearly feel, filling her heart little by little. Even though she couldn't see, she felt the warmth of light. And so, she longed to be normal again. She wanted to meet that boy. He paused at this point. I couldn't wait and asked, so what happened next? Did the girl find the boy? Suchin spoke softly. She did, and she recognized him at first glance. With joy in my voice I said, so that means her vision must have been restored, and the ending must have been perfect, right? Sukin's gentle voice carried a hint of sadness. The ending was, the boy had already fallen in love with another girl, and the girl never even got to confess. She never had the chance. I sighed. That's so unfortunate. Suchin smiled faintly. It's just a story. But what if it were you? What if you were the boy in the story, and the girl confessed to you? Would you accept her? I thought very seriously, and replied, if I already like someone else, then I wouldn't accept her, even though I'd feel sorry for the girl. Sympathy isn't love. Suchin lowered his eyes. Following my words, he murmured softly, yeah, sympathy isn't love. After a moment, he looked up again with gentle eyes. He smiled gently. If I were the girl in the story, then in the end, I would still bless the boy with all my heart, just like the lyrics you sang earlier. If his happiness isn't because of me, then maybe letting go is the real way to love. I looked at him, and without hesitation praised him. Wow, you're amazing. Suchin chuckled softly. The amazing one is clearly the boy. He'll never know that his singing voice was once the only reason that blind girl had the will to keep on living. Suchin and I talked for a long time. By the time I got back to my room, it was already past 10 p.m. I drifted off into sleep in a daze. When I woke up, I somehow had caught a cold. I didn't have much appetite, so I picked at some food and returned to my seat. Luo Qingli was sitting across from me, eating elegantly. As soon as I sat down, I sneezed. Rubbing my nose, I muttered, it must be from the wind last night. I was out there too long. Luo Qingli raised his head at my words. His eyes narrowed slightly. What were you doing last night? I wiped my nose with a tissue and said, I had insomnia, so I went out to the terrace for some air and happened to run into Suchin. We ended up chatting for a while. Luo Qingli threw his sandwich down on the plate. Linheo, am I invisible to you? If you had insomnia, why didn't you come to me? I froze for a moment, then said speechlessly, you weren't the one with insomnia, so why would I look for you? Luo Qingli's expression clearly showed he was itching to strangle me. I just wanted to see you when you couldn't sleep. Is that so hard? See me with insomnia? What? Does it make you happy seeing me like that or something? Before he could answer, I sneezed again. Luo Qingli sneered, serves you right. Who told you to go out and catch cold for no reason? I was speechless. I argued, I didn't even provoke you. So unreasonable. I shot Luo Qingli a glare and looked down to drink my porridge. Suchin and Song Ming came back with their food, but Luo Qingli stood up and walked out, carrying his tray. Suchin called out, Luo Qingli, where are you going? Luo Qingli didn't even turn around. I'm done eating. I'll wait for you outside. Song Ming sat beside me. I glanced up at Luo Qingli. He had only eaten half his sandwich. After finishing breakfast, I walked out of the restaurant and immediately saw Luo Qingli leaning casually against a tree. Suchin was the perfect companion for any trip. He had already done all the planning in advance and spoke up with a clear plan. The beach is very close to here. You all go pack your things now. We'll walk there shortly. It won't take more than 10 minutes. Song Ming and I headed back to pack. Suchin glanced at the watch on his wrist. Let's meet in the hotel lobby in 30 minutes. Just as I was about to press the elevator button, my arm was suddenly grabbed. I turned my head in confusion. A pile of medicine packets was shoved at me. I blinked. What's this? Luo Qingli gave me a you idiot look. Can't you tell? The elevator dinged open. Songming took the chance to slip away. You to talk. I'll go pack upstairs. Now only Luo Qingli and I were left. I raised an eyebrow. Did you go out just to buy medicine for me? Luo Qingli corrected me with a straight face from me. Mind your wording. I just wanted to stretch my legs after breakfast and pick them up on the way. I looked at him meaningfully. But I'm pretty sure there's no pharmacy anywhere nearby. Luo Qingli maintained his usual poker face. He gritted his teeth. Hurry up and take it already. Do you want me to die from exhaustion? I held back a laugh, feeling warm inside, and took the medicine. I hooked my finger at Luo Qingli. Come here for a second. Luo Qingli sneered. You think I'll come just because you told me to? His face remained cold, but his body betrayed him and moved forward anyway. The next second, I pulled him into a tight hug. I patted his head and said, Good boy. From inside my arms, Luo Qingli's cold voice rang out. Lin how you ... I smirked. What is it? I'm a patient, I said, shaking the medicine packet. Luo Qingli looked like he was holding back fury. He gritted his teeth. Go upstairs and take your meds now. The elevator doors opened again. I quickly slipped inside, waving my hand. I'll take my meds, promise. See you later. Luo Qingli turned away, but the corners of his lips lifted unconsciously into a very attractive smile. Not far away, Suchin, who was also planning to buy me medicine, saw everything and silently turned around. Back in the room, I went into the bathroom, looking at my thick bangs and the makeup covering my scars. There's less than half a month left. Then the contract will expire, and I'll never have to face people again wearing this ugly look. Maybe because someone lives in my heart now. In these past 5 years, I've never longed more than this moment to return to my original appearance. After packing everything, Songming and I went downstairs together. It was nearing noon. We finally arrived at the beach. Suchin stood to the side. What do you want to drink? We'll go get it. Songming raised his hand. I want cola. And make it ice cold. Suchin nodded and turned his gaze toward me. I thought for a moment, I'll have cola too. Ice cold, a cold voice from Luo Qingli chimed in. You're not only sick, but you still dare to drink something cold. Just drink hot water. Suchin and Luo Qingli left Songming and approached me to say Luo Qingli really cares about you. I smiled with my lips closed. We sprawled on the beach all afternoon, until we watched the sunset. Only then did our group start heading back. Just thinking about going back to school tomorrow, I felt totally out of it. Dragging myself forward weakly, punching my arms. Why does school time pass so slowly, while vacation time just flies by? Songming nodded dramatically, feeling emotional. With a warm smile, he said the future is irreversible. What we can do is enjoy the moment. Just be happy. Look, that's the speedboat we'll be on later. I followed the direction he pointed. My eyes lit up. The smile in Shuking's eyes deepened. They say if we go deeper into the sea, we might even see dolphins. Luo Qingli glanced at my smiling face. It's cold. Let's hurry and get on. Whether we see dolphins or not, just make sure you don't fall into the sea. I glanced speechlessly at Luo Qingli. Can you stop saying stuff like that? As soon as I said that, my foot slipped. Luo Qingli quickly reached out to steady me. Careful, it's slippery. The speedboat headed into the depths of the sea. I stood at the front of the boat, closed my eyes and felt the sea breeze. Luo Qingli seemed to have some business going on. He had been on the phone since boarding. I leaned against the front of the boat, looking at that dazzlingly radiant girl. Songming whispered in my ear, Do you know you totally look like a lucky wife right now? My face immediately turned red. What are you talking about? Then I secretly peeked at Suchin, who was standing next to me. Suchin acted like he hadn't heard anything. He just smiled at me. Songming chuckled sneakily. Everything was so beautiful. Then suddenly, in the next second, the speedboat made a loud bang from a collision. It began shaking violently from side to side. I panicked and tried to grab onto something, but I was standing at the front of the boat. With such a huge impact, I didn't have time to grab onto anything. My body was thrown off by the inertia. The seawater surged toward me from all directions. Songming grabbed the railing and shouted anxiously. In the next second, someone jumped into the sea, swimming quickly toward me. I couldn't swim. The harder I tried to move upward, the more my body disobeyed and sank deeper. Breathing became more and more difficult. I was losing all my strength. Just as I was about to pass out, I saw a figure rushing toward me at high speed. Sunlight pierced through the seawater and shone down. I couldn't see his face clearly. He was getting closer and closer. He reached his hand out toward me. It was shaking. I blew bubbles out of my mouth. There was no air left in my mouth. The moment our fingertips touched, Suchin grabbed my hand tightly. Using all his strength, he held on to me. He supported my arm. Suchin swam upward with all his might. Luo Qingli saw the empty boat front and heard Song Ming shouting. His face turned grim. He immediately hung up the call, ran forward in big strides, and jumped into the sea without hesitation. I held my breath and clearly felt Sukin's strength weakening. His face was turning pale. He seemed to be in even more pain than me. I panicked. What was happening to Suchin? I kicked and moved my arms as hard as I could, trying to cooperate with Suchin. At that moment, another figure dove down, swimming toward us even faster than Suchin. He grabbed my arm tightly. It was Luo Qingli. The moment I saw him, it felt like I saw light. Luo Qingli made a gesture to Suchin. The two of them held my arms together and forcefully swam toward the surface. The three of us finally broke the surface. I gasped for air desperately. The crew quickly lowered a life ring. Suchin held on and kept me afloat above the water. Luo Qingli grabbed the life ring and put it on me. After making sure I was secured, Suchin finally let out a breath of relief. It was like all his strength had been drained. Even his lips were turning pale. Suchin frowned and clutched his chest, gasping desperately. And then he sank again into the sea. Luo Qingli grabbed him in time. With the help of several crew members, they finally pulled Suchin back onto the boat. Sukin had already lost consciousness. There was worry and panic in Luo Qingli's eyes. Song Ming quickly grabbed a towel and wrapped me in it. I was stunned by everything in front of me. What happened to Suchin? At the city hospital, the red light outside the operating room was on. My makeup was a bit smudged. At this very moment, Luo Qingli, Song Ming, and I were anxiously waiting outside the operating room. A nurse quickly walked out. Where is the patient's family? The patient is in critical condition. This critical condition notice needs someone to sign it. On the way to the hospital, Luo Qingli had already explained everything to us. Suchin has a heart condition, but he still jumped into the sea to save me without hesitation. I choked up as I spoke anxiously. We're his friends. Can we sign it? The nurse shook her head no. The critical condition notice must be signed by a direct family member. Only they have the authority. You should contact his family to come to the hospital as soon as possible. I was overwhelmed, but we're not from this city. My friend's family won't arrive until the afternoon. The nurse, like an emotionless robot, coldly said, That's your problem. If no one signs, there's nothing we can do. Luo Qingli stared coldly at the nurse. She's my friend, no matter if you sign the form or not. I won't allow anything to happen to her. Her presence radiated strong energy like a heroine. The little nurse, who had been a bit arrogant just now, immediately became timid. But our hospital has clear regulations. Song Ming angrily said, Rules are dead, but people are alive. If this keeps going, my friend will really die. Luo Qingli turned around and made a phone call. Not long after, several doctors received a notification from the hospital director. They immediately began the surgery. By the afternoon, Sukin's parents arrived in a rush. His mother couldn't stop crying. Everyone's hearts tightened. Finally, at 3:30 in the afternoon, the light outside the operating room turned off. The doctor came out looking exhausted, removing his surgical mask. The surgery was successful, but the patient still needs to be monitored in the ICU. He'll remain hospitalized for observation. I quickly asked, Is he awake now? Can we go see him? The doctor replied, The patient has not woken up yet and needs to rest quietly. That evening, only Yin Jiaran stayed at the hospital with Suchin. Everyone else returned temporarily. Song Ming sat in the last row of the bus and fell asleep as soon as he got on. But I couldn't sleep at all. I looked at Luo Qingli sitting to my left. I gently asked, Luo Qingli, what are you thinking about? Luo Qingli turned her face and leaned against my shoulder. Her head gently rested on me, pressing against my neck. I froze. I could clearly feel Luo Qingli's warm breath. His warm breath brushed against my collarbone. Seeing him like this, aside from the last time he lost his timid cat, and that second timid personality emerged, I hadn't seen him like this again. Such close contact, such a casual action, made my whole body feel frozen. I didn't move at all. Luo Qingli suddenly looked up Lin Haoyu. His nose was almost touching mine. The distance between us. If either of us moved even slightly closer, our lips would touch. I nervously started to speak. What? There was something in his eyes that I couldn't understand. He softly asked, "Do you like shuking?" I was completely stunned. Luo Qingli didn't wait for my answer. The next second, he asked again, "Do you like me?" My heart began racing. I opened my mouth, but Luo Qingli's slender finger rested on my lips, stopping me from saying anything. Luo Qingli tilted his handsome face toward me and gently cupped my cheek with one hand. "Listen to me. Even though I'm dumb and ugly, I always want to give you the best things in the world. Even if I always scold you, I can't stand to see anyone bully you. Tell me, why do you think that is?" I let out a dry chuckle, joking as I tried to test him. "Isn't it obvious? You've fallen for me, right?" Luo Qingli lowered his head and laughed, a laugh that could steal your soul, like fireworks lighting up the night sky. He didn't deny it, but he withdrew his hand and sat back down again. I looked at him and asked, "What does love even mean to you?" Luo Qingli looked out with distant eyes. He didn't answer me. He just looked like he had fallen asleep. Because of that one sentence from him, I couldn't sleep at all that night. Early the next morning, I got up and made lots of cookies. I planned to bring them to Luo's house this afternoon for Luo. I glanced at the time. At this time, Luo Qingli should be arriving to pick me up. I grabbed my bag, took the cookies I made, and ran out. Sure enough, I saw Luo Qingli's car parked not far away. I got in. Smiling, I asked, "Have you been waiting long? I made some cookies today. Do you want to try one?" Luo Qingli glanced at me, then turned his gaze straight ahead. "Lin Haoyu," I asked, "what's wrong?" He hesitated for a moment, but still spoke. His tone was a little cold. "This is the last time I'll be picking you up for school." My smile instantly froze on my face. "What do you mean by that?" Luo Qingli's expression was calm. "I mean it literally." His cold face held no hint of emotion. "You don't have to come to the Luo house anymore either." I spoke anxiously. "But your grandma and Luo." Luo Qingli cut me off. "They're my grandma and my sister, not yours." I squinted at Luo Qingli, completely unable to understand why he was saying this. All of a sudden, weren't things fine just a few days ago? He even said those things just yesterday. Why did everything change overnight? I laughed bitterly at myself, pulled out my phone, and checked the calendar. It's not April Fool's Day today, is it? Luo Qingli furrowed his brows, one hand resting on the steering wheel, his beautiful eyes fixed ahead. "It has nothing to do with April Fools. I simply don't want to see you anymore," I said firmly. "You're lying. You can't even look me in the eye when you say that." The next second, Luo Qingli's cold eyes turned to me. His tone was heartless. "Do you remember what I told you in the beginning? To keep the farthest distance possible from me, within all possibilities. That still applies now." I searched Luo Qingli's face, trying to find even a hint of a joke. But there was nothing. He was completely indifferent. It really felt like he had returned to the coldness of our very first meeting. My voice turned hoarse. "Why?" Luo Qingli turned his gaze to the distance. "From now on, let's avoid seeing each other if possible. Understand?" My voice trembled slightly. "Luo Qingli, is playing with people fun to you?" But Luo Qingli remained silent. I opened the car door. "Fine, I get it now. You don't need to give me one last ride. I can go on my own." After saying that, I slammed the door and left. In the Lamborghini, Luo Qingli's eyes subconsciously followed my silhouette, his face still expressionless, but his grip on the steering wheel tightened unconsciously. The next day, without any interaction with Luo Qingli, I realized just how terrifying habits can be. Since when had I gotten so used to Luo Qingli being by my side? Without him, my heart felt empty. During PE class, Song Ming sat next to me and handed me a bottle of water. He asked, "What happened between you and Luo Qingli? Weren't things good just a while ago?" I clenched my teeth. Who knows? Maybe he's just always disliked me and planned to get back at me. Song Ming was shocked. No way. I always felt like Luo Qingli liked you. Girls get their periods every month. Maybe he's just moody right now. Song Ming offered his weak analysis. The PE teacher blew the whistle, gathered everyone, and told us to run 3 laps around the track. I immediately took off running. Perfect timing to vent all the stress through exercise. If I didn't let it out, I was going to explode. And so I ran lap after lap. Everyone else stopped. But I just kept running. Song Ming, gasping for air, ran after me. "Stop running already. If you keep running, your body won't be able to take it." I stared straight ahead. "Song Ming, you don't need to worry about me. Just let me blow off some steam on my own." My face had already turned pale, yet I still stubbornly kept running. Not far away, in the school building, Luo Qingli stood alone by a window, his eyes fixed on me as I ran on the track. I gasped for breath desperately. Under the blazing sun, huge beads of sweat kept rolling down my cheeks. I tried to control my breathing, but before I knew it, my head started spinning. My vision became foggy. My legs gave out, and I lost control, stumbling forward. I closed my eyes and braced for it, but the next second, a pair of slender hands caught me. Was it Luo Qingli? I didn't even have time to see clearly. Everything went black as I passed out. In the infirmary, the pain on the back of my hand made me frown slightly. I slowly opened my eyes and saw Luo Qingli beside me, sitting there quietly. Song Ming let out a breath of relief. "You're finally awake. You passed out from heatstroke just now." "Heatstroke," I repeated. Out of the corner of my eye, I glanced at Luo Qingli beside me. Song Ming awkwardly stood up. "I'll go get you some water," and then quickly slipped away. In the infirmary, only Luo Qingli and I were left. I didn't say a word, but I vaguely heard. Luo Qingli let out a faint sigh. He stood up and pulled a wet tissue from the box, lifted my hand, and carefully wiped it. Luo Qingli kept his head down, his cold face betraying no emotion. I froze, frozen as I stared at the face that was now so close. After wiping my hand, Luo Qingli picked up the apple on the knit stand and began peeling it with a small knife. He handed me the smoothly peeled apple. "Don't ever let me see you doing something so foolish again." That was all he said. Then he turned to leave. I grabbed his slender wrist. My voice was hoarse as I called out to Luo Qingli. He turned his face to look at me. His eyes silently questioned me. I looked up into his eyes and asked each word with deep seriousness. "Have you ever liked me? Yes or no? I just want one answer right now." Luo Qingli's back stiffened slightly. He looked away, with his back to me. "You must be heat-struck and out of your mind. Aren't you? I have no interest in someone like you. Don't ask me such stupid questions again." After that, he practically ran away. During the break, I lay on the desk. Song Ming was memorizing English. "There's an English test this afternoon. Are you sure you don't want to look at your English book?" I slowly replied. "I looked at it on the bus this morning, on the way here." I almost have a photographic memory. Others need all morning to memorize a text. I just need to read it once or twice. Song Ming kept chatting. "Suqing still hasn't woken up." I shook my head. "No idea. I called him yesterday, but no one answered. I don't know anyone close to Yinjia, and I haven't really talked to Luo Qingli these days. I have no idea what's going on with Suqing now. I'm completely in the dark." I suggested we go visit him at the hospital this weekend. Song Ming nodded in agreement. After school, Song Ming and I went to karaoke. With a bit of alcohol, I got braver and called Luo Qingli. It rang for a long time before someone picked up. I muttered drowsily. "Luo Qingli, did you do it on purpose? Have you always hated me? You were the one who insisted I stay with the Luo family. You're also the one who forbade me from going back. Why?" From the other end, Luo Qingli's voice came, dangerously cold. "Lin Hao, you. Don't tell me you've been drinking." I didn't even respond to him. Totally lost in my own world. "Do you even know? At first, I really hated you, but every time I felt the most helpless. You were always the first one to show up by my side. Luo Qingli cut me off. Where are you right now? Who are you with? Luo Qingli and I weren't even on the same wavelength. His rare patience was tinged with a trace of frustration. Can you just tell me where you are? I ended up rambling incoherently. After venting on my own, I just hung up. Needing to pee, I struggled to get up, stumbling out of the karaoke room. After taking care of that, I came out and leaned drunkenly against the wall. The next second, someone grabbed my wrist. I struggled to open my eyes and saw Luo Qingli's cold face. I pushed him away and leaned against the wall to walk off. But the next second, my arm was pulled back, and I fell into a warm embrace. Luo Qingli wrapped his arms around my waist from behind, his whole body pressed against my back. Just moments ago, I was still acting drunk. But that hug snapped me out of it. My heart pounded in my ears. Luo Qingli held me tightly, his grip full of longing. He whispered, "Lin Haoyu, what am I supposed to do with you?" Luo Qingli let go of me. I turned around and saw him already in tears. I reached out and gently wiped them away. "Don't cry," I said, lifting his little face. I pulled a tissue from the side and carefully wiped away his tears. People were passing by in the hallway near the restroom. A few girls kept sneaking glances our way, pointing and whispering. I vaguely heard someone say I was ugly and that I was an eyesore. The fragile look Luo Qingli had just moments ago vanished instantly. He shot a cold glare and said, "What are you looking at? Get lost." The crowd quickly scattered in fear. Luo Qingli looked at me, his eyes darkening slightly. He tightened his arms around me a little more and said, "Let's go home." I tried hard to open my eyes. Song Ming was still in the karaoke room. Luo Qingli called Chi Nyangsu. In less than 15 minutes, Chi Nyangsu arrived. She took the equally drunk Song Ming with her. I squirmed a bit and slowly opened my eyes. Next to me was a fluffy little thing that shifted its tiny body. I was startled, quickly pulled the blanket aside to look. Luo was cuddling Meow Meow, wearing a yellow Winnie the Pooh pajama set, snuggled up next to me, his dark, bright eyes blinking at me. "Brother, you're finally awake." I looked down at him. Luo, how are you here? Wait, this is the Luo family's house. Then why am I here? I began to recall. Yesterday, I went drinking with Song Ming. Then I think I saw Luo Qingli. What happened after that? I tapped my head. I couldn't remember at all. Luo rubbed against me and said in a soft baby voice, "Brother, I missed you so much." My heart was melting. My gaze softened unconsciously. I reached out and ruffled his soft little head. "Brother missed you too." Luo lifted his small face. "Brother, now that you're back, don't leave again, okay?" I gave him a reassuring smile. Luo, can you tell me first, how did I get here?" A cheerful voice answered from the doorway. "It was Zhaoju who brought you back." I looked up, and to my surprise, it was Luo's grandma. Grandma handed me a steaming glass of milk. "Good child, drink some milk first. We'll have breakfast soon." I took it, still feeling confused. "Grandma, what exactly is going on?" Grandma Luo smiled so brightly her whole face lit up like a flower. She spoke with deep satisfaction. "It was Qingli who brought you back. You drank too much last night. She was really worried about you." So it really was Luo Qingli. Yesterday wasn't a dream. Luo Qingli was actually worried about me. The gloom in my heart vanished instantly. I leaned forward to look out the door. Where is Luo Qingli now? I got out of bed to put on shoes. I'm going to find her. Luo also scrambled out of bed after me. Grandma Luo picked him up in one swoop. Young couples rekindling love. What's a little rascal like you doing in the middle of that? I ran to Luo Qingli's bedroom door, took a deep breath and knocked. "Luo Qingli, it's me." There was a long silence inside. Finally, the door opened. Luo Qingli's expression was as indifferent as ever. There was no sign of any emotional change. I scratched my head awkwardly. "Thanks for last night. For bringing me back." Luo Qingli looked deeply into my eyes, then forced herself to look away. "You don't need to thank me. I just happened to run into you. That's all." Luo Qingli's face was cold and distant. The vulnerability she showed me last night felt like a dream. Grandma Luo and the little one were hiding in the room next door eavesdropping. But the more they heard, the weirder it sounded. Grandma Luo hurriedly burst into the room and saw Luo Qingli and me in a standoff. She immediately flew into a rage. Luo Qingli, what on earth is wrong with you? Why are you always bullying my grandson-in-law? Grandma Luo glared at Luo Qingli and pulled me behind her protectively, then turned around and saw my sad and disappointed face. She immediately tried to comfort me. Grandson-in-law, don't be upset. There's a reason Qingli acts this way. It's all because of what happened a few years ago. Luo Qingli interrupted Grandma with a stern face. Grandma Luo stopped mid-sentence. Luo Qingli turned away coldly and walked back into the room. You should go. After breakfast, Uncle John will take you to school. I silently looked at Luo Qingli. It felt like being lifted to the highest point, only to be slammed back down to the ground. On the way to school, I stared out the window with a mess of emotions. Just then, my phone suddenly rang. Snapping out of it, I took out my phone, and when I saw the caller ID, a hint of joy appeared on my face. Shuking, her gentle voice came through just like always. It's me. I asked anxiously. When did you wake up? How are you feeling now? Any better? Suqing answered. I just woke up a moment ago. My phone's been dead these past few days. That's why it's been off the whole time. How have you been these days? I don't know why. But hearing Shuking's gentle voice, all the hurt I felt earlier from Luo Qingli suddenly came rushing out. I didn't say a word. Suqing sensed something was off. What's wrong? Her voice now tinged with worry. Tell me, what's wrong? I told her everything that had happened these past few days. By the end, Suqing was completely silent. I asked tentatively, Suqing, are you still listening? Her voice slowly came through the phone. You mean while I was unconscious? Luo Qingli was deliberately avoiding you, even though you were the only one. Suqing paused for a long moment before speaking softly. I'll be back at the old hospital this afternoon. After school today. Come to the cafe by the east gate of William Hospital. Okay, I asked in confusion. Are you even allowed to leave your hospital room? Suqing spoke. I'm just stepping out for a little while. It's fine. There's something important I need to tell you. I agreed, okay. I'll be there. After school, I went straight to the cafe. A server walked over. Hello, miss. Do you have a reservation? I thought for a moment and gave Suqing's name. The server led me to a window seat with a smile. Here it is. I nodded. Thank you. Just as I said that, I caught sight of an arrogant, imposing figure walking straight toward me. Luo Qingli actually came too. Our eyes met. Both of us showed a flash of surprise. Then a gentle voice came from behind me. Looks like I'm the last one to arrive. I turned my head and saw Suqing. He looked pretty well. Though his face was still a bit pale, I was confused by the situation in front of me, so I asked, what exactly is going on here? Suqing calmly walked forward. Let's sit down first. The three of us took our seats. Neither Luo Qingli nor I said anything. Suqing smiled warmly. Sorry I didn't let you know in advance, but I asked both of you to come here. Luo Qingli scoffed coldly. Suqing, what exactly do you want? Suqing raised two fingers, looking at me, and said calmly, two things. Lin Haoyu. Do you know why Qingli has been avoiding you? It's all because of me. I held my breath. And the next second, I heard Suqing quietly say the words. Because of me. Luo Qingli's sexy lips tightened into a straight line. He lowered his gaze, fingers gently tracing the edge of the coffee cup. I asked, puzzled, because of you? Then I looked toward Luo Qingli. Don't tell me. The person you like is Suqing? Suqing chuckled at me. Lin Haoyu, your imagination is wild. I meant Luo Qingli. She's been acting strange lately. All because of something that happened years ago. Back then, Luo Qingli and I had just started middle school. Our two families have known each other for generations. To me, Luo Qingli was like family. At this point, Suqing looked over at Luo Qingli. If this is all because, years ago, I saved your life in that car accident, and you're keeping your distance out of guilt, then I'm sorry, Luo Qingli. I don't accept it. I couldn't believe it. Wait, Suqing really saved your life once? Luo Qingli's expression remained indifferent. If Suqing hadn't pushed me away back then, the one who went blind would have been me. Su Qing had always been gentle and reasonable growing up, but after losing his sight, his personality changed drastically. He didn't want to talk and refused to interact with anyone. Only after his vision was restored did he slowly recover. I looked at Su Qing in confusion. But all of this you're saying, what does it have to do with me and Luo Qingli? Su Qing smiled instead. He picked up the glass in front of him and took a few elegant sips, then set the glass down, lifting his gaze seriously. This is the second thing I need to say. Luo Qingli, you must have already realized it by now. I like Lin Haoyu. Su Qing spoke softly. Because you feel guilty toward me, you chose to step back. Not to compete. To distance yourself from me, to give Lin Haoyu to me. Hearing that, my mind went blank. Su Qing just said, he likes me? He said Luo Qingli, out of guilt, chose to back away voluntarily. Su Qing's gentle expression was the same as always, calm and composed as if none of this surprised him. But right now, everything is filled with seriousness. I'm telling you once again, if this is how you're going to repay me, then I refuse to accept it. I don't need your concession. What I want is fair competition. After speaking, Su Qing looked at me. Her expression instantly turned gentle again. Come on, I'll have the driver take you home. She no longer cared. Luo Qingli stood up and grabbed my hand. I got up in a daze with her. Instinctively followed Su Qing out. But just after taking a few steps, my other wrist was grabbed by Luo Qingli. I turned to look back. Luo Qingli had also stood up. I could clearly feel everyone's eyes in the cafe were all focused on us. Su Qing lowered her eyes, gently looked at me. Will you come with me, or do you want to stay here? I quickly said, I'll take you back to the hospital. I just wanted to escape from here as fast as I could, then go home and sort out my thoughts. Watching Su Qing and me leave together, a storm seemed to be brewing in Luo Qingli's eyes. Her hand clenched tightly. At night, I tossed and turned in bed. What exactly does Su Qing like about me? So it turns out Luo Qingli was avoiding me because of Su Qing. My mind was in chaos. I couldn't sleep at all. From the moment we parted ways at the cafe until now, several hours had passed. Luo Qingli had vanished like thin air. I got out of bed and went to the kitchen, opened the fridge, but there was nothing to eat. My stomach was growling and I felt awful. I decided to treat myself for once. Go out and buy something. 15 minutes later, I was carrying an egg pancake with him, heading back home. Just as I reached the alley, I saw a familiar figure. A white Lamborghini quietly parked ahead. The girl was leaning against the car with her arms crossed, looking serene and silent. Her gaze was fixed on the lit window of my room. She didn't notice what was behind her at all. I called out to her, Luo Qingli. Hearing my voice, Luo Qingli froze for a moment. Her beautiful face turned to look at me. I walked up and asked, why are you here? Luo Qingli showed a hungry expression. Just bored. Came out for some fresh air. Such a Luo Qingli kind of answer. I nodded, then enjoy your stroll. After speaking, I stepped around her to leave, but Luo Qingli suddenly grabbed my arm. I didn't turn back. For a while, a low voice came from behind. Lin Haoyu. I really missed you. Those four words floated like feathers in the air. Yet hit my heart like a heavy blow. I calmed myself down. Turned around to look at her. Does controlling others' emotions give you a sense of accomplishment? What exactly do you see me as? An object you can just give away. Something you can hand off to others. Whenever you feel like it. You want it, you take it. You don't want it, you push it away. Is that it? Is that how it is? Luo Qingli looked at me steadily. I've never seen you as an object. I gave a sarcastic laugh, but the reality is right in front of us. If it weren't for Su Qing, I'd still be in the dark. Completely clueless. If it weren't for Su Qing, you wouldn't have come to see me tonight either. Because in your heart, your guilt towards Su Qing is more important than I am. Luo Qingli reached out to touch me. I took a few steps back to avoid it. I'm not some puppet you can call or dismiss at will. After speaking, I turned and walked away. Luo Qingli watched me run off, a bitter smile on her lips. Her voice was low and calm. Lin Haoyu, who's really controlling whose emotions? The next morning, I woke up with dark circles under my eyes. While brushing my teeth, my phone rang. I glanced at it and picked up. Mumbling, I answered, "Hello, this is my roommate." I kept brushing my teeth, grimacing. Bai Shiru's anxious voice came through. "The contract is about to expire. From now on, can you act more like an idol?" I gulped down another mouthful of water, swished it, and spat it out. "Right, it seems the contract ends the day after tomorrow." Bai Shiru got excited. "You can finally audition with your real face. Aren't you going to prepare in advance?" I looked at myself in the mirror. What's there to prepare? Bai Shiru was left speechless. After all, my existence perfectly embodies the meaning of naturally beautiful and hard to hide. I don't need any preparation. Just removing the scar makeup from my face is enough to stun the world. Bai Shiru revealed the reason for his call. The day after tomorrow is the weekend. Once your looks are restored, you'll attend a production team's audition. It's for a third male lead. Even though it's just a third lead, the character is very likable. We shouldn't rush. Being grounded is more important than anything. I quickly grabbed my backpack. Yes, you're right. Just throw the info into my email. I'll check it during break today. Talk later. I'm about to be late. After hanging up, I ran out of the alley, only to be blinded by two flashy sports cars. Luo Qingli and Su Qin stood in front of their own cars. One gentle, one passionate. A faint tension sparked between the two girls. When they saw me, Su Qin smiled slightly and waved the food bag in her hand. Gently said, "I'll take you to school. You just focus on eating breakfast, okay?" Luo Qingli's gaze locked deeply on me getting in the car. "I'll take you to eat whatever you want, no matter how far." It was rush hour for school and work. The alley was bustling with people. Two luxury cars just parked here instantly attracted the attention of all passers-by. Everyone pointed and whispered in this direction. I glanced at Luo Qingli, but walked towards Su Qin. "Didn't you just recover? How can you act so recklessly?" Su Qin smiled with squinted eyes. "When it comes to you, I can't be careless." Luo Qingli watched our interaction. The cold aura from him could practically freeze people. He said coldly, "Lin Haoyu, are you treating me like air?" I turned to look at him. "Sorry, I just noticed you were here too." Luo Qingli glared at me, then shifted his gaze towards Su Qin. "Su Qin, you'd better save your energy. Don't waste it on useless things. I've always been the one to take him to school, and it will stay that way. No one can change that." Su Qin smiled. "Is that so? Maybe from now on, everything will start to change." After saying that, he looked down at me. "We're going to be late. Let's talk in the car." I nodded and prepared to get in. Luo Qingli stepped forward and grabbed my wrist. "Lin Haoyu." I turned to look at him. "Didn't you just say a few days ago that you wouldn't take me to school anymore? You're the one who pushed me away, and now you're doing this." "Luo Qingli, like I said, I'm not some dog you can call and dismiss at will." Luo Qingli's lips tightened into a thin line. I shook off his hand and got into Su Qin's car. The engine started, and the car slowly pulled away. Through the rearview mirror, I saw Luo Qingli getting left behind. That arrogant figure tinged with a trace of loneliness. A cup of soy milk was handed to me. Su Qin smiled warmly and said, "Here, it's still warm." I looked away and said, "Don't bother," and took it from him. "Thanks," Su Qin said seriously. "Don't thank me. I'm happy to do these things for you." I didn't open the paper bag, lowered my eyes, and said, "I have something I want to tell you." Su Qin unusually interrupted me. "I know what you want to say." Su Qin's grip on the steering wheel tightened slightly. He smiled helplessly, "If possible, don't cruelly say those words out loud. I don't want to pressure you, but please don't take away my right to be good to you." I lowered my head and softly said, "I'm sorry." Just those three simple words expressed what I meant. The reason I chose to get in Su Qin's car was also to take this opportunity to speak my true thoughts. Su Qin lowered his eyes. His expression dimmed. Lunchtime. I sat by the window in the cafeteria. Zheng Zhaozhibao, Luo Qingli, and Su Qin sat on either side of me. The two of them seemed to be competing, constantly picking food from their trays and putting it into my bowl. People around whispered, "Look over there. That's Lin Haoyu from class 1. He's so ugly, how come? Both school beauties like him? What's wrong with the world?" That same question was echoing in my mind at that very moment. I stirred my chopsticks. Su Qin added another portion of vegetables to my bowl, gently reminding me, "Eat more greens, they're good for you." Luo Qingli, on the other hand, with a blank face, dropped all her braised pork ribs, piece by piece, into my bowl. "This is too greasy for me," she said. "All yours." I remembered that Luo Qingli used to love this dish the most. Su Qin continued, "Try this potato. It's really good." Luo Qingli followed up, "The fish is nicely done too." I stared speechlessly at the food in my bowl. It just kept piling up higher. I couldn't take it anymore. I turned to look at the two beauties. "Can you two let me live a little? Don't you see the way people are staring? It's like they want to kill me." Su Qin lowered his voice, "Sorry. Do you really care about what they think?" Luo Qingli glanced around coldly. "Who has a problem with Lin Haoyu?" Step forward. Everyone trembled and quietly continued eating. I rubbed my forehead in frustration. "I still have a checkup at the hospital this afternoon." Su Qin came to school just to have lunch with me before leaving. He came all this way just to share one meal with me. Even though Su Qin said not to feel pressured, being unable to return his feelings and receiving such unreciprocated affection felt really heavy. A voice interrupted my thoughts. "What are you thinking about?" I came back to myself and turned to look at Luo Qingli beside me. I didn't respond and kept my head down writing my test, but my ears perked up, listening closely to the movement beside me. Weird, why isn't Luo Qingli saying anything? What's he doing? Could he have left already? I couldn't hold it in anymore. My eyes subtly shifted, secretly glancing to the side. The next second, I locked eyes with him directly. I was startled and quickly looked away. Luo Qingli silently curled his lips into a charming smile. He propped his face with one hand and stared at me without blinking. I quickly turned back to look at the test paper, but the next moment, I felt Luo Qingli leaning in. His warm breath brushed softly against my ear. Luo Qingli's amused voice rang out. "Didn't you say you're ignoring me? Then why are your ears so red?" I replied seriously, "It's the sun. Please stay away from me. Don't disturb me while I'm working." "Thank you." Luo Qingli kept his pose, resting one hand on his face. With his other hand, he tapped on my paper. "Your test paper is upside down." I looked closely and felt like jumping into a river. It really was upside down. So embarrassing, but I still acted fierce on the outside. "I like reading questions upside down. Got a problem with that?" Luo Qingli chuckled. "You can if you want. But with your IQ, I doubt you'll finish it even by next year." I glared at him speechlessly. "Don't look down on me. Let me say this again. Please stay away from me." Saying that, I childishly scooted my desk a bit farther away and quietly flipped the paper back to the correct side. Gradually, all my focus returned to the test paper, completely ignoring Luo Qingli. Luo Qingli lay on his desk, still watching me. With more patience than ever before, he reached out and poked my arm. "Are you mad? What can I do to make you not mad?" "Lin Haoyu, don't ignore me." I slammed the desk. "Are you done yet? Can't you see I'm busy right now? I already told you to stay away from me." Just then, a girl with glasses walked into the class. She immediately saw me, yelling at their beloved school honk, while Luo Qingli just looked indulgent. Her jaw almost dropped to the floor. The next second, Luo Qingli looked up and shot her a murderous glare. She stiffly said, "Lin Haoyu, the class teacher wants to see you in the office." I scratched my head. What is it now? I was already running out of time to finish the test. Muttering, I shoved the paper under my textbook and walked out without even looking at Luo Qingli. When I came back to the classroom, Luo Qingli was already gone. The math class rep started collecting papers. I groaned, "I'm doomed." I called out, completely panicked, I rushed back to my seat, frantically pulled the test paper out from my textbook. Just as I was about to randomly fill in some answers, I found that someone had already finished it for me. During the break, I went to the restroom and bumped into someone as I walked in. I quickly apologized, sorry about that, then looked up and froze the next second. That guy was the same one who asked me to pass a love letter to Luo Qingli, and after I declined, saw me as his enemy. Li Shuji narrowed his eyes and sneered, "It's you, huh? Lin Hao you." I tried to step around him, "Excuse me." But Li Shuji blocked my way again. "I've heard all about it." I looked confused. "What?" Li Shuji squinted, still playing dumb. "I knew it. The reason you didn't help me pass that letter to the school beauty is because you wanted her for yourself. You were just afraid I'd get her before you. That's why you didn't help, right? Never thought you were so scheming." I couldn't help but laugh at him and said, "First of all, we're not friends. Not even acquaintances. If I help, that's kindness. If I don't, it's my right. Second, don't blame me just because you can't win over Luo Qingli. You can approach her however you like. Even write her a love letter every day if you want. If she ever responds to you, I'll admit defeat. Third, from now on let's mind our own business. I've done nothing to wrong you. So stop clinging to me." After I finished, I pushed him aside. There were other guys in the restroom. Clearly, my words had angered the group of fanboys. "Lin Hao you, who the hell do you think you are? You're just an ugly loser. Where did you even get the courage to speak so arrogantly in here? Guys like you, ugly freaks, should just find someone equally ugly and jump off together. Just existing pollutes the air. Whether it's Luo or Yin, school beauties like them. A guy like you doesn't deserve girls like that." I sneered, "Really? I can't wait to see your faces on Monday, when we're back at school. Let's see then, when I no longer have to go to school with this ugly makeup on. Who'll still dare call me ugly? Who'll still say I'm not good enough for Li Shuji?" With a mocking face, "What, you think today's over the weekend are enough to get plastic surgery? I'm telling you, even if you get surgery, you'll still just be a surgically altered freak." I didn't respond. The group of fanboys picked a stall and pushed me inside. Just as they were about to lock the door, we heard the sound of water pouring outside. Next second, the stall door was forced open. Before I could react, a guy from outside threw a bucket of water at me. I was soaked completely. The guys outside the stall burst into mocking laughter. I hadn't even seen who threw the water. Before the door slammed shut and was locked from the outside, I quickly tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. I shouted angrily, "Open this door." Laughter came from outside. "Weren't you all tough just now? If you've got guts, get out yourself. Ugly freak, you better behave yourself. One last warning. Stop going after the two school beauties." The group of boys made their threats, then walked off smugly. Li Shuji folded his arms and glanced over, "Serves you right." Inside the restroom stall, I looked down at my soaked school uniform. Anger turned into laughter. I'll remember those guys. They just want to see me humiliated. One day, I'll turn them into the laughingstock instead. Outside, faint footsteps echoed in the hallway. The restroom was now empty. Just as I was thinking about who I could call for help, the restroom door suddenly opened. Someone came in and removed whatever was propped against the door. She opened the stall door. "Are you okay?" It was actually Zour. I was stunned. "Why is it you?" Zour handed me a tissue. "I overheard some boys from our class talking and found out you were trapped here." I furrowed my brows, looked down at my soaking, wet uniform, but still accepted it silently. Zour took a deep breath, then gazed at me with deep affection. "If you really want to thank me, why not go on a date with me this weekend? Lin Hao you, I really want to start over with you." I shook my arm and cut her off. "Let me be clear. There's no chance for us, but thank you for today." After saying that, I slipped away. Zour took a few steps forward but didn't catch up. She glared at my back fiercely. You're just a washed-up star disfigured in a car crash. Who do you think you are? There were still 2 classes left, but I took an early leave and went home because of my uniform. But as soon as I got home, Luo Qingli called me. I answered the phone. Luo Qingli went straight to the point. You're home already? I replied, yeah, just got home a bit ago. How did you know I came home? Luo Qingli sneered coldly. I just know. Why do you come back so early? I made something up and said softly, I wasn't feeling well, so I took an early leave. Luo Qingli had been flipping through some papers, but suddenly paused his hand. He frowned and looked up. Where do you feel unwell? I blurted something out, just a little cold. I'm fine. Then I hung up. The dial tone rang. I glanced at the screen. He had already hung up. 15 minutes later, the doorbell rang. I ran to open the door and saw Luo Qingli standing outside. Seeing my surprised expression, Luo Qingli teased, Am I that scary? He reached out and closed my dropped jaw. My jaw was about to fall off. I asked suspiciously, Why are you here? He stepped sideways into my home. To admire how a fool looks with a cold, I looked at him speechlessly. This guy must be here just to annoy me. Though he spoke like he didn't care. Luo Qingli still reached out his hand to feel my forehead. No fever. He placed the medicine he bought for me on the coffee table, then calmly took out a cup and mixed the medicine for me. For some reason, my heart felt a little warm. He didn't say anything, but through his actions, he made me feel what it's like to be cared for. I secretly blamed myself for being so soft, then followed behind Luo Qingli. Didn't you say you came to admire how I look with a cold? Then what are you doing now? Luo Qingli completely ignored me until the medicine was ready and handed to me. Drink it. I awkwardly said, I'm not drinking it. His tone was commanding. I'm not negotiating. Drink it. Who catches a cold and doesn't take medicine? I lifted my chin and deliberately opposed him. I'm not drinking it, bro. Luo Qingli drank a sip of the medicine himself, then pinched my chin and blocked my lips directly. My eyes widened in shock. I didn't expect Luo Qingli to actually do that. The slightly bitter medicine was passed bit by bit into my mouth, with a unique sweetness. I suddenly pushed Luo Qingli away. Luo Qingli's sweet voice followed. Lin Haoyu. Do you want me to feed you like this? My heartbeat sped up uncontrollably. He kept a straight face. Drink it obediently. Luo Qingli lifted my chin. I have many ways to make you take medicine. Want to try them all? I glared at him angrily. We're not even in a relationship right now. What gives you the right to do this? Luo Qingli leaned in with a charming tone. Can I take that as you urging me to take our relationship to the next level? Luo Qingli seemed to be in a good mood. A rare smile flickered in his usually cold eyes, though it vanished quickly. Luo Qingli let go of me, hurry and drink, then slowly stood up like nothing had happened, as if the whole thing just now didn't happen at all. I wasn't willing to always be led around by Luo Qingli, like a puppet on a string. Wasn't I the one supposed to be tormenting him? 6 p.m. Luo Qingli had a social gathering. After making sure I took the medicine, he was ready to leave. At the doorway, he paused slightly in his steps, turned his handsome face, and reminded me, if you don't feel well, don't treat your phone like decoration. Call me anytime. After Luo Qingli left, I got a call from my former agency, asking me to come in for a meeting at 10 the next day. The final procedure. They'd send someone to pick me up for the meeting. Thinking I wouldn't have to wear this ugly makeup anymore, I got a little excited. It's been 5 years, being treated like a monster for 5 years. Finally, I didn't have to endure it anymore. The next morning, I got ready early and went to wait at the alley entrance for the company car. Then Luo Qingli called. My heart jumped a little with excitement. I quickly picked up the call, trying to sound calm. Luo Qingli. His cool voice came through. What are you doing? I glanced at the street and replied, ain't ready to go out. Then he asked again, where to? I wanted to tease him a bit and said, not telling you. Unexpectedly, he chuckled. Even if you don't say it, I'll know. Luo Qingli continued calmly. Something came up. I have to go to City S for 2 days. I lowered my head. Lightly kicking the ground, I replied, oh. Then Luo Qingli commanded from the other end, Lin Haoyu, don't go looking at other girls. Wait for me to come back. My heart was beating a little erratically. A DD car pulled up. I looked up and told Luo Qingli I had something to do, then hung up the call and ran toward the car. The window rolled down, and when I saw who was inside, my eyes widened in shock. The one who came to pick me up was actually Zour. Zour smiled brightly at me. Lin Haoyu, get in. I calmed down and asked, why is it you? Zour tapped the steering wheel with a finger. I heard you were coming to the company today, so I specifically requested to pick you up. I hesitated about whether to refuse. Zour urged, hurry up. The boss and the others are waiting for you at the office. It's not good to be late. I had no choice but to open the door and get in. After getting in, I stared out the window in silence. Zour drove while sneaking glances at me frequently. He started a conversation. Lin Haoyu, you haven't been to the company in ages. Is there something important today? I responded lightly with a It seemed Zour really was just a delivery guy in this case. He had no idea at all that I was going to the company today to terminate my contract. The car drove straight into the agency's underground parking lot. You needed a key card to enter the building. I followed behind Zour into the office building. It had been 5 years, but the company looked exactly the same. Not a single change. Someone was walking quickly while looking at documents and bumped right into me. I wasn't paying attention and almost fell. Zour quickly reached out and caught me. I steadied myself and quickly pushed his hand away. Thanks. I'll head up first. Zour grabbed my arm. I'll wait here for you. When you're done, I'll take you to lunch. I declined. No need. I looked at him helplessly. Zour, how many times do I have to tell you? I'm not interested in you. There's no chance for us. Not at all. I don't get it. Why is Zour suddenly so crazily chasing after me? Zour looked around, then suddenly hugged me tightly. I tried to push him away. Are you crazy? But Zour wouldn't let go and held me even tighter. I know, it's because you used to like me, but I chose Liu instead, so now you want to get back at me. But there was a reason for all that. He was the one who wouldn't leave me alone. Zour said as tears started falling, looking utterly pitiful. There's no way I'll be with Liu again. Lin Haoyu, please don't be mad at me anymore, okay? I said coldly. Let go of me. If you don't, I'm going to yell for help. Suddenly, Zour grabbed my face, stood on tiptoes, closed his eyes, and leaned in. He actually tried to kiss me by force. I shoved him away hard. Zour, what's wrong with you? Don't let me see you again. With that, I turned and walked toward the elevator. After watching me enter the elevator, Zour called someone. Is everything ready? Hurry up and send it to me. In the elevator, I received a call from Baishiru. Have you seen Mr. Wang? I originally wanted to go with you, but something urgent came up at the company. I really couldn't get away. You'll be fine on your own, right? I sighed. I'll be fine. I'm not a kid. It's just signing some papers. Baishiru chuckled. Give me a call once it's done. In the afternoon, I'll show you around my company. Don't forget, you've got a film shoot tomorrow. I nodded and teased. Yes, boss. The elevator dinged and opened. I hung up and walked over to knock on the door. After getting permission, I walked in. Inside the office sat a middle-aged man, the president of this agency, Wang Zihao. I didn't have a good impression of this man. It was because of an order he gave back then. They suppressed me for a full 5 years. I got straight to the point. Mr. Wang, the 5-year contract has ended. Wang Zihao wore a sly, insincere smile. 5 years? Who told you it was 5? My heart sank. What do you mean? If not 5 years, then how long? Wang Zihao leaned back in his executive chair, with an annoyingly smug expression. Don't rush. Sit first. I stood still, unmoved, not in the mood for small talk. I asked firmly, what exactly do you mean? The contract clearly states everything in black and white. I quit showbiz and hid my real appearance. Ugly for 5 years. Tomorrow marks the end. Wang Zihao calmly took the contract off his desk. Are you referring to this, Lin Haoyu? I thought you were a smart kid. How could you be so careless this time? Take a look for yourself. How many years is it really? He tossed the contract. I grabbed it quickly. My eyes scanned the text rapidly. The original 5 years in the contract had somehow been changed to 15 years. My anger shot up instantly. I raised my eyes furiously. You dare alter the contract without permission? Wang Zihao smiled shamelessly. Without permission, that's a big accusation. It's always been 15 years. It never changed. Maybe you misunderstood something yourself. Wang Zihao acted so untouchable, knowing I had no connections, as if daring me to try anything. The contract in my clenched fist crumpled tightly. 5 years ago, I was just a 6th grade elementary school student. I knew nothing back then. After that car accident, our manager, Sister Shiru, fell into a coma protecting me. She was unconscious for a long time. I came out unharmed, but the company insisted on claiming I was disfigured in the accident and forced me to leave the industry in disguise. At that time, my mom was already in a vegetative state, and my dad had personally set her up and betrayed her. At that moment, there wasn't a single person around me who could help me decide anything. I didn't understand anything. One day, I was brought to the company and told that if I didn't sign the contract, there would be no money for my mom's surgery. And from that moment on, I went from being a beloved idol to a monster everyone could laugh at. An ugly freak. I endured it for 5 years. Just when I thought the clouds would part and light would shine again, I got played like this all over again. My chest heaved violently. I was so angry my whole body was trembling. Wang Zihao stood up and snatched the contract back. Lin Haoyu, you're still too young after all. I called you here today just to tell you to behave yourself. Don't hold on to any bright dreams about the entertainment industry. You're just a has-been star now, forgotten by everyone. You'll never make a comeback. I was furious. For words breach of contract, you better get ready for the court summons. Wang Zihao laughed even more smugly. Such big talk for your age. Quite bold of you. Funny thing, I've got friends in court too. Want me to help you ask how to file a lawsuit? I clenched my fist, silent, then turned and walked out. Wang Zihao gave me a cold look, then picked up his phone and dialed the number. It's done. Everything's been handled as you requested. Wang Zihao paused, then added, but still. He is the neighbor's son after all. Was this really necessary? A gritted teeth voice replied on the other end. The only son next door is Ling Chun. On the other end, Yang Hui was sitting on the villa sofa next door. Her face full of hatred. Lin Haoyu, that ugly freak. He's just a bastard born of a mistress. If I had known it'd come to this, I should have found a car 5 years ago and run over both mother and son. Wang Zihao shook his head. You're still the same as ever. I stormed out of the company, furious, and called by Shiru. Spent a full 10 minutes ranting and swearing. After patiently listening to me, she sounded equally troubled. I said dejectedly, Shiru, what am I supposed to do now? What about the audition tomorrow for that drama? I sighed. Bai Shiru replied, in this situation, there's no way you can go to that audition. What matters most now is, we need to get that termination contract first. Otherwise, with a 1 billion penalty fee, even selling your kidney wouldn't be enough. Bai Shiru's current company had just started. It was still small and had limited resources. That male third lead in the drama was already a pretty good opportunity. Now, because of my contract issue, we had to give it to someone else. I slumped my shoulders, feeling completely defeated. A deep sense of loss welled up in me. She comforted me gently. This can't be rushed. I'll consult a legal advisor first. I'll get back to you later. Wait for my update, I absent-mindedly muttered and hung up the phone, standing dazed on a bustling street corner, not knowing what to do next. If only Luo Qingli were here right now. As I thought that, I found myself taking out my phone and dialing Luo Qingli's number. Sorry, the number you dialed is currently unavailable. That cold, robotic voice came through the speaker. I stood there in disappointment. Just then, a car slowly pulled up beside me. A familiar voice called out, "What are you doing here?" Suchin stepped out of the car and came over. Holding my shoulders, she looked me over. "Are you feeling unwell somewhere?" I looked at Suchin and asked, "Suchin, why is it you? Her voice was just as gentle as ever. What's going on? Can you tell me? I forced a smile and said it's okay. Suchin looked at me with a complicated expression. I pulled myself together and asked, are you feeling better? Suchin smiled. I'm out of the hospital, just resting at home. I lowered my head and said, I'm sorry. This happened because of me. Suchin gently comforted me. It has nothing to do with you. Even if it wasn't you who fell into the sea that day, I would have gone to save them. I insisted. I'm sorry. Suchin realized I was pushing him away. He looked a bit hurt. He softly said, let me take you home. I nodded wearily, thank you. Suchin smiled self-deprecatingly. Along the way, I tried to act cheerful. Suchin played along and didn't expose me. The car drove into a familiar alley. I smiled and said, here we are. I'm going in. Suchin smiled and nodded, okay. He watched me walk into the house, then lowered his head. Do I really not stand a chance at all? In the afternoon, I went to visit Mom at the hospital as usual. I stayed there all afternoon. I even chatted for a long time with other patients, like uncles and aunties, as if I wasn't at all affected by the contract issue. In the evening, I opened the door at home and collapsed on the sofa, staring blankly at the ceiling. My phone rang. I pressed to answer. Manager Luo's pleasant voice came through. I was in meetings all afternoon. Just saw your call now. After saying that, he cleared his throat a bit awkwardly. I didn't ignore your call on purpose. Don't overthink it. I don't know why. But hearing Luo Qingli's voice, my bottled-up emotions surged up. I suddenly really wanted comfort from Luo Qingli. Luo Qingli noticed my long silence and sensed something was wrong. He nervously asked, what's wrong? I didn't say anything. I quietly listened to Luo Qingli's voice on the other end. Are you mad at me for not answering your call? Throwing a tantrum at me? I've always been like this. Phone on silent during meetings. It won't happen again. I'll go scold my assistant right now. Hearing that warmed my heart. I slowly said, the assistant is innocent, isn't he? Luo Qingli finally stopped talking, then asked nonstop, tell me, what happened? The contract issue was something I couldn't talk about. I shook my head. Just ran into something tricky today. Luo Qingli leaned back on the sofa, his eyes sharp and dangerous. No matter who it is, I'll deal with them immediately. I was debating whether to tell him the truth, that I had been hiding my identity and appearance. Would he get mad? I softly spoke again. I just feel like I've been unlucky lately. Luo Qingli paused and asked, have you eaten yet? I composed myself and said, not yet. Qingli's tone turned commanding. I'll have someone send food over. No refusing. After hanging up the phone, I checked the time. It was already past 5. I gathered myself and sat down at the computer to write my novel. I had written nearly 100,000 words by now. And more people were reading it. I guess that's a kind of compensation too. The keyboard clacked as I typed for a while. Then I checked the time again. It was almost 7. Luo Qingli told me to wait. And I'd already been waiting over an hour. My stomach started growling. I opened the chat window and messaged Luo Qingli, I'm cooking instant noodles. Just as I hit send, I heard someone knocking at the door. I called out toward the door, who is it? From outside came a familiar, cool voice, delivery. I rushed to open the door. Luo Qingli was standing right there. Wasn't he supposed to be 1,000 kilometers away in S-City? Is he? I carefully reached out and touched his face. The sensation on my fingertips felt so real. Luo Qingli looked at me deeply. Yes, it's really me. You're not hallucinating, I asked in surprise. But weren't you supposed to stay in S-City for 2 more days? You came back early? Luo Qingli stepped inside and put the things down on the dining table. Come eat. I closed the door and walked over. Why did you suddenly show up here? Luo Qingli calmly took out the food containers one by one. He set the chopsticks down and said, because I have superpowers. I looked at him, touched. I knew he came back just for me. We sat face to face at the table. In front of us were 7 or 8 stir-fried dishes. The once cold and empty home was suddenly filled with warmth. I gobbled up the food hungrily. All the unpleasantness from earlier seemed to vanish in that moment. The feeling of happiness and sweetness spread from my heart to my entire body. With a hoarse voice, I said, Luo Qingli, you still haven't told me. Did you come back early? Across from me, Luo Qingli calmly replied, not really. I looked up, confused. Luo Qingli, looking like a noble, took a sip of soup. Expressionless, he said, I'll leave after we eat. So I was right. This guy came all the way back, just to have a meal with me. After dinner, Luo Qingli got ready to leave. I walked him to the alley entrance. My little head kept looking around for a glimpse of the big boss. Where's your private jet? Let me see it at least once. Luo Qingli suddenly turned around and looked at me. Lin Haoyu, do you know why I really came back? I joked. For dinner, right? Luo Qingli suddenly pulled me into his arms. His arms wrapped tightly around my neck as he stood on tiptoe. He whispered in my ear, because from now on, you're no longer alone. You have me. I froze completely. Was Luo Qingli flirting with me? In a daze, I returned home. Still dazed, I washed up and lay in bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. My heart was stirred by a feeling I couldn't describe. The next day, Bashir returned my call and told me that the only way to defend my rights is through legal action. But since the other party holds the contract as evidence, the chances of winning are extremely slim. In the end, Bashir cautiously asked, Kid, what's your relationship with Luo Xiaohua? If he's willing to help, all the problems would be easily solved. I unconsciously clenched my hands. I'll find a good time to ask him. Luo Qingli is still in S City. His schedule there is packed every day. According to Grandma Luo, there seem to be some issues with the collaboration over there. I don't want Luo Qingli to get distracted because of me again. I'll bring it up once he's back, okay? During Monday's class duty time, Songming exploded after hearing about the contract. What kind of trashy agency is that? So outrageous. Are you really going to wait 15 years? I looked off into the distance and said, of course not. I won't sit here and wait for doom. I will find a way. And that way is to erase everything from the past. Just then, a chirpy voice came from the side. Well, if it isn't our handsome Lin Haoyu. I turned my head to look. It was Li Shuji from the neighboring class. Last time, he and a few others ganged up on me, dumped water all over me, and locked me in the bathroom. I hadn't settled that score yet, and now he dared show up on his own. Li Shuji sized me up and down. Grinning, he said, I seem to recall someone saying on Friday that on Monday at school, they were going to slap my face. Right, Lin Haoyu? So whose face is hurting now? Although Songming didn't know Li Shuji, it was obvious this guy came with bad intentions. Songming raised his fist. What the hell are you? No need to rush. Sooner or later, I'll smash your face in. Li Shuji sneered. Big talk, anyone can do that. Didn't you say you'd slap me at school on Monday? And yet what happened? I waited the whole weekend for nothing. Lin Haoyu is just an ugly loser. Always was, and always will be. And he still has the nerve to say he'll slap me. Hilarious. I looked at Li Shuji. Are you done? Li Shuji continued with his mocking tone, not yet. You're just an ugly coward full of hot air. If you've got guts, slap me now. I smirked. Without hesitation, I picked up the nearby water bucket and dumped the whole thing on Li Shuji. He yelped and tried to dodge backwards, but his foot slipped, and he fell hard to the ground. Li Shuji grimaced in pain, struggling a few times but failing to get up. I scoffed coldly. Not so tough now, huh? Just as he got up from the ground, ready to explode, I firmly grabbed his wrist. Without giving him a chance to resist, I dragged him forward. He started to panic. Lin Haoyu, what are you doing? Let go. I showed no expression. I opened one of the restroom stalls and shoved him in without mercy. Asterisk bang. Asterisk I slammed the door shut and wedged something from the outside to keep it shut. Li Shuji was locked inside. He banged hard on the stall door, shouting, Lin Haoyu, are you trying to get yourself killed? Let me out. There were others in the restroom too. Everyone was furious. You ugly freak. Do you think you're above the law? I've never seen anyone this outrageous. What gives you the right to lock someone in there? Let's go get him out. I stood in front of the stall door, crossed my arms and said coldly, I dare anyone to try. The scene suddenly fell silent. Everyone looked at each other. At that moment, I was radiating an incredibly powerful aura. Those people muttered quietly and gradually dispersed. Still locked in the stall, Li Shuji was kicking the door furiously. Lin Hao Yu, open the damn door. Are you deaf? Leaning casually outside the stall, I said coldly. Who do you think you're ordering around? I actually learned this move from you. Last week, at the same place, you splashed water all over me and locked me inside the stall. Wasn't that you? I'm just using your own trick against you. Poetic justice, that's all. Li Shuji ground his teeth in anger. You're only acting tough because Miss Luo likes you. You're just riding her coattails. I let out a cold laugh and said, yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. So, what? You want to ride her coattails too? Do you think Luo Qingli would give *U* that chance? Li Shuji was about to explode with rage. He cursed right as the class bell rang. I turned around casually. Enjoy your time in there. If you mess with me again, I promise it won't end well for you. Song Ming, who had been standing beside me, gave me a thumbs up. For the past 5 years, I'd always kept a low profile. Even when bullied or mocked, I would always swallow my pride. But now, I don't want to hold back anymore. Today's passed in a flash. After school that day, I was walking, with my arm around Song Ming's shoulder toward the school gate. A black Audi was parked not far ahead. Song Ming nudged me with his elbow. Hey, I think that's your dad. I gave it a casual glance and stood frozen in place. It really was him. Lin Yuandong, he looked so much older now. His temples were covered in gray hair. When he saw me, Lin Yuandong stepped forward. Hey, you, can we find somewhere to talk? I responded calmly. Whatever it is, just say it here. Lin Yuandong looked at me, his voice tinged with pleading. It's been so long. I just wanted to have a chat with you. And my birthday is coming up soon. Can't you even grant me this small wish? Just this once? I was silent for a moment. Then I said to Song Ming, you go ahead first. Song Ming nodded. I followed Lin Yuandong and got into the car. The car started slowly. Surprisingly, he took me all the way to the detention center. I frowned. Why did you bring me here? Lin Yuandong grabbed my arm. Come with me. He led me to the visitor meeting room. Separated by a piece of clear glass, Lincoln was sitting inside. After so many days locked up in detention, he no longer had his once polished appearance. Now he looked completely disheveled. Yang Hui was also there. The mother and son were crying and talking. Lincoln said, breaking down, Mom. When can I finally get out of here? I don't want to be locked up anymore. Yang Hui gently comforted him. Don't be afraid. Your dad and I will definitely get you out. We won't let you go to prison for real. My dear son, you've suffered so much these days. I looked away and turned to Lin Yuandong. So what do you want? Lin Yuandong rubbed his hands anxiously. Your brother, his case is going to court tomorrow. I laughed. If it weren't for Lincoln, would you even remember that you had another son in this world? With that thought, I said firmly, my mother only gave birth to me. I don't have a brother. Upon hearing that, Yang Hui immediately glared at me viciously. Aren't you a Lin too? You ruined my son's life. And you're proud of it, aren't you? What do you mean I ruined his life? Was it me who told him to kidnap Luo? Was I the one who made him so cruel? Someone capable of kidnapping a child. He deserves to be in jail. I turned around and walked away after speaking. I really had no brains. I clearly knew Lin Yuandong never cared about me. Yet I still kept giving him hope again and again. Never again. That Lin Jia has nothing to do with me anymore. Just as I stepped out of the detention center, Lin Yuandong chased after me. He grabbed my arm and said, Lin Hao Yu, you must help your brother. You know too, once he's sentenced in this case, there's no turning back. He's only 17 now. If he really goes to jail, his whole future will be ruined. Only you can save him now. You just need to beg the Luo family. If they can soften a little, he could be released. I glanced at him. Why should I help him? I shook off Lin Yuandong's hand. Everything was Lin Chun's own doing. Lin Yuandong shouted in panic, Lin Hao Yu. Don't force me, I smirked. That's exactly what I should be saying to you. Lin Yuandong suddenly threw something at me. Then take a look at this. I looked down. It was an envelope. a thick stack inside. I opened the envelope, and when I saw the photos inside, my eyes widened instantly. These photos were vulgar, explicit images, and the person in those photos was my mother. What the hell is going on? My head was burning with confusion. I hurriedly stuffed the photos back into the envelope, afraid someone else might see them. I looked up. What do you mean by this? Lin Yuandong said calmly. Just as you saw, these photos were secretly taken when your mom and I were still married. In secret. I was at a loss for words. I couldn't express in words the anger I felt in that moment. This anger was like a volcanic eruption, brewing and brewing, then suddenly exploding. Lin Yuandong's eyes were full of calculation. Even though this deeply wronged my mom, he couldn't let his son actually go to prison, just like you saw. I have all the negatives of those photos. As long as you can persuade the Luo family to spare your brother this once, then I'll immediately destroy all these photos, every single one of them. But if you refuse, I'll print countless copies of them and spread them everywhere. Lin Haoyu, you'd better do as I say, or don't blame me for being heartless. He truly didn't care about burning bridges anymore. All he wanted was to save his son. After a long silence, I calmly looked up and said, Dad, even if you don't love Mom anymore, you were at least once husband and wife. Because of you, because of Yang Hui, she jumped off a building, and now she's in a vegetative state, still lying in the hospital unconscious. And you, the ones responsible for it all, you're now using these disgraceful photos to threaten me into saving your and Yang Hui's son. Does your conscience really feel no guilt? Lin Yuandong shook his head and said, Your mom's suicide was never my intention. If you want to blame someone, blame her for being too fragile. What does that have to do with me or Aunt Yang? I was utterly disgusted. Could there be anyone more shameless in the world? And that most shameless person turned out to be my own father. Lin Yuandong kept going. I just need a straight answer from you now. Are you willing to beg the Luo family for Lin Chun? I glared at him. I asked the Luo family, but I can't guarantee they'll say yes. Hearing that, Lin Yuandong lit up and immediately smiled. You can do it. Dad believes in you. That kind of smile felt so ironic to me. My fists were clenched the whole time. If this time, I really manage to get Lin Chun out for you, you give me back the negatives. From then on, we are no longer father and son. I will have nothing more to do with the Lin family. As soon as I said that, I turned and walked away. What now? My mind is a complete mess. How do I talk to Luo Qingli? How do I even bring this up to Grandma Luo? They've all been so good to me, and now, I have to plead for the man who kidnapped Luo. Suddenly, my phone rang. Luo Qingli asked from the other end, Are you coming to the villa tonight? I answered in confusion, I don't know, but what I meant by I don't know was that I didn't know how to face Grandma Luo, or how to bring up Lin Chun to Luo Qingli. Luo Qingli continued, I'm going home tonight. I hope to see you there when I arrive. Idiot. Even in such a tragic moment like this, my heart still fluttered like a fool. Was he doing it on purpose, or on purpose? It clearly wasn't a confession, nor was it anything romantic.